Hi guys, and welcome to Cooking with Z. This is my kitchen where I cook Spanish recipes. Well, 90% of them are Spanish at my style. Um, Recipes that have been passed down from my grandparents to my mom and just family members, and that's how I was taught how to cook. And I love cooking, and I just want to pass down my recipes to you guys, and hopefully you guys can enjoy cooking the same way that I do. I do want to apologize. I know it's been a while since I put up a video of cooking, but due to family emergency, a loss of death in my family, that was the cause. I didn't want you guys to think that I abandoned you or that I forgot about you or took you for granted. It's definitely not the case. It's just been a couple of crazy months, and but I'm back, and I'll go back to my routine of putting up cooking videos. Okay, so today I have a very simple recipe for you guys. Um, I'm gonna do fried pork chop. Now, it's not what I was going to do originally, but a lot of people keep asking me. I try to make fried pork chops and it sticks to the bottom, or they turn black too soon. What am I doing wrong? Or am I just cooking it too high, cooking it too low? So I figured I'd make a quick, easy, simple video of how to do fried pork chops. You're probably not even doing anything wrong. Really, what it probably is whatever spices you're using, or if you're frying and you're using like a pate or a sauce, it's more quickly to burn. Okay, so I'm gonna let you know. I mean, like I said, it's gonna be very simple, very quick, and another day I'll do the pork chop recipe I was gonna do today. But today I decided to just do the pork chop fried, since you guys keep asking me and asking me, what is it? How is it hard? It really isn't. It's very, very simple. Especially to cook with pork is one of the easiest meats to do. Now, I have five pork chops here. These are boneless. I usually cook them bone, but it's what I found at the supermarket, so it's what I want. It doesn't matter whether it has the bone in it or if it doesn't. It's still the same thing, okay? I'm going to use adobo, uh, Italian seasoning, uh, my Cajun, lemon and pepper, and minced garlic. Now, even though I have my sofrito back here, I'm going to tell you guys why I have it there. I'm not going to use it for the fried pork chops. If you're going to make stewed pork chops or even stir-fried pork meat, then you can put sofrito. You can even still do it with fry, but you would have to cook it really, really low and put a little bit of water in it so that it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan, okay? That's probably one of the reasons that a lot of people pork chops, when they're frying it, they get stuck to the bottom, unless you're just putting the fire way too high, okay? We're gonna do vegetable oil. Normally I would have done the olive oil, but because we're doing it fried, just a simple, I'm just gonna put a little bit of vegetable oil, okay? And you're gonna need a pot. I'm using this one just because I like that it's deep, so the oil doesn't jump out and dirty my whole stove, because it's easier to cook and maneuver and it fits a whole lot of food. So you're gonna wash your pork chops. You make sure you wash them really good, and then just throw the water out and just let it sit for like a minute, and then we're going to season it. Okay. Now, while I'm gonna season, I'm going to turn on the stove on medium, and once I season the meat, I will shift the camera to the stove so that you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. And now, since I'm not gonna use sofrito for the chuletas, which is pork chops in Spanish, I'm gonna use garlic. Okay. Um, Now, when you use garlic for fried, you're gonna use very small amounts because it can also burn, just not as bad as the sofrito. Okay. Now you don't have to add it in if you don't want to, but I love the flavor of garlic. And since I'm not putting sofrito in it, I do want to put the garlic in there. Now you're gonna put maybe less than a teaspoon for the adobo, and always do it to taste. It's better to put less than more because when it comes to salt and spices, you can always fix it if it's less. But if it's more, then you have to kind of do things a little bit more different than if it's just too salty. The lemon and pepper, just a pinch, not so much because we have the adobo and we have the Cajun, okay? Now the Cajun, I'd rather do this one a little bit more just because of the flavor. I hate that these little holes don't really get out what you need. So I'm sorry guys, I'm a vision person. So this will be half of a teaspoon, no, half of a half, like maybe a quarter, okay? And the Italian seasoning will be to your liking. So it'll be a quarter of the lemon and pepper, very small. With my yep. This is 1/11. Make sure. Yeah, 1/4. Yep. Okay, so 1/4 of the adobo and 1/11 of the lemon and pepper and 1/4 of the Cajun and then the Italian to your liking. Okay, and I did do uh, a teaspoon of the garlic. So now don't be scared to get your hands dirty, guys. So just put them in there. Make sure that everything is all nice and evenly seasoned. Okay. This is what it looks like, guys. Okay. Now I'm going to shift this over here for you guys to see. I have it on medium, and now I'm going to put some oil. Now you don't need a whole lot of oil, okay? This pot is kind of pretty big. So just make sure that it just covers the bottom of the pan. And do let it get hot. Not like burning hot, but hot where you know that you're going to be frying something. Medium should be fine for right now. And there's a lot of ways to cook pork chops. You know, you can saute them, you can bake them, boil them, you can marinate them with different flavors. I love cooking with pork because there's so many different recipes that you can make with it. And they're usually very quick because they cook very easily and very quickly. So it's one of those meats that it's always easy to cook with. So we're gonna put one in. Do you hear that sizzling? Then that means that the oil is hot and the pot is ready for the meat. Because if you put it in while the oil is still cold and the pot is cold, it's gonna take a lot a lot longer, and you're not gonna get that brownish under the meat that we like. At least that I like, I guess I should say. Okay. Now it depends, you don't have to just put enough that you're gonna cover the pan. Now it also of course depends on how many people you're cooking for. Okay. That looks beautiful. And basically, guys, we're just, now the rest of the work is just making sure that they don't get burned. Making sure that you are watching them and turning them when they need to be turned. I mean, basically, all the hard work is already out of the picture. Seasoning is the hardest part. So, I know that it's easy to just want to put the fire up so it can cook faster, but you don't want to do that because one, you want the meat to be nice and soft, and you want it to cook evenly, and you want the color to look good, right? So that's why we cook it on medium. And when it gets like really hot, that we see already that it's beginning to turn brown, we just make sure that it's not like overly. Right now, it's like medium low. You know, it's not at a high temperature. And basically, we're just going to wait for it to get all hot and for it to start getting fried at the ends. And once you start seeing that it is getting fried in the corners, then that's when we're going to turn it. So you don't have to keep turning it until let it sit on that one side, the side up, and once it gets fried on the other side, then we'll turn it and then we'll let that fry for a little bit, and then we'll turn it again if you want it to get a little bit darker, okay? So that'll take maybe 3 to 4 minutes, maybe 5, depending. I like my meat to be juicy, toasted, but juicy. I like my pork chops when I fry them to be crunchy. So we're gonna let that simmer and cook, and we're gonna check it in 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, guys, you hear the sizzling? Now, don't forget that you can just lift up and check. You see? So we might wanna, let's just turn them. Now you might wanna, I'm gonna raise the fire just a bit. So now it's at medium high. Not like high, but a little higher than what I had it at, okay? So that way it can fry, since now one side is, even though it hasn't toasted yet, is already cooking. You see, so this side is already cooked. It's just not fried. I like to push these to the side. Okay. Some people don't mind them. It bugs me. And that's going to happen if you're gonna cook pork. Okay? Now, of course, it's mostly when it's gonna, get fried or sauteed or something like that. It probably won't be as bad, but I like to take it out. I'm picky with my food. I'm sure you guys are too. So now we're just going to let it fry on that side. Just move them around just a little to make sure that they're not sticking to the bottom. And then we're just gonna let them sit there for like maybe another 3 to 5 minutes. Maybe 3 to 4 minutes. Okay? Okay, let's turn them around. Oh, nice. That's nice right there. That's what we're looking for, guys, right there. I love it. You see those little dots, guys? That's from the garlic. You see those dots? That's from the garlic. Very good. Okay, guys, so we're almost there. Now, of course, like I want the other side to get a little more toasty. I like both sides to get a little more toasty, but Okay. So I'm going to put them kind of, you see, to the center. so that they can kind of get a little bit more toasty, so we can get them out of here and on the plate. Because then once you cook them, you want to leave them on the plate that the juices settle. I usually just leave it like at least 3 minutes on the plate before I serve them, just so that all the juices can stay in the meat, you know. So they're almost done. Like I said, you don't want to rush it, but usually you don't even take 10 minutes. You know, when you make sure the oil is hot and you put it in there, and usually maybe 5 minutes on each side. Excuse me. And that should be it. Now also it depends on the thickness of the pork chops, and how you know toasted you want it. Some people like them to be, you know, very light, and some people like them like me, a little bit darker. And you know, I like them to be toasted on the sides. And like, I mean, this is, yeah. So I like it. It smells delicious in here. So it's not hard, guys. Like I said, the hardest part is just the seasoning. And then after that is just having a little bit of patience and just watching it, making sure that it doesn't burn, because of the garlic and the spices, and you just don't want it to, you know, you don't want it to stick. So if you have a non-stick, pan, then that's definitely what you want to use. And if you don't have a non-stick, then you definitely have to wash it a little more, because you don't want it to stick to the bottom. Okay. I mean, it's very rare if you got the oil, enough oil, it shouldn't stick, unless you put the fire way too high, and then you're rushing it, and then that's, you know, usually that's when it'll stick. Or if you have the paste on it, you know, sofrito or something else that you're putting in there. So other than that, guys, that's about it. I mean, you can cover it, but then if you cover it right now, it'll become more like a sauteed, it won't be crunchy. So if you want that crunch, you don't want to cover them. You can cover them when you first put them in, because the bottom part of the wood is getting toasted. But at this stage right here, you definitely do not want to cover them up, okay? So we just got maybe a few more minutes, 2-3 more minutes, and we should be done, ready to get them out. Okay. All perfecto mundo. Now you see, this is what I'm talking about. You see this? Look at this. Oh yeah. Okay. I want this one to be a little bit more. Yeah. I think that's not bad. I love the color, guys. Like, that's what, to me anyway, makes the pork chop. I'm going to turn it off. You want to put it, I mean, at least I do anyway. I put it in a plate like this. These are beautiful, guys, and the smell in this kitchen is amazing. I wish you guys can smell it. You can see what I'm talking about. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to move this here for a second because I don't want the oil to keep heating. Sorry about this, guys. But I want to make sure that you guys can see what I'm talking about. So you see the color on the pork chop. It's nice and toasted. It's see, it's like, but it's still soft. Ooh. So you see how it's toasted on the sides and around the corners, like I told you guys. But it's also juicy and soft. You can still see the juiciness on it, and that's what you want when you're going to fry your pork chops. Okay. You don't want it to look dry. You don't want to over fry it, because if you over fry it, then that's what's going to happen. You're going gonna get dried pork chops, and that's the worst. You do not want, you know, dry, hard pork chops. So you don't want to leave it in the oil or in the fire too long. Once it's cooked and you got it to the color that you want, and if you want, like say if I wanted to leave it longer because I wanted them to be, you know, darker, then I would have to lower the fire and let them cook just a little bit longer. Because if I would have left them at that the same amount of fire that I had it on, then what would happen? It would end up getting burned on the ends, and the moisture of the inside of the pork chop actually would have dried up, and they would have been dried. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut one, guys, so that you can see what I'm talking about. I think I'll cut. Okay, so you see, it's still, you see the moisture inside is still nice and juicy, and it's still nice and soft. So that's what you want. You want it to be crunchy. You want that color, you know, you want the color nice and toasted from being fried. And as you can see in the side, it's a little bit more toasty. But you also want it to be moist. You don't want that to be dried, and because it doesn't taste good when it's dried. You know, it's not a good flavor. Oh my God. Sorry. Mm. I wish that I could taste them. But like I said, you guys, that's how it is. It doesn't. You don't want to overcook it. You don't want to undercook it. So you have to be very careful. It's gotta find a balance. But that, there you go, guys. I mean, it tastes delicious. It didn't take long. It don't take a whole lot of recipes, a lot of seasoning, and it's very simple. So for you guys to ask me, you know, it's not hard. You're not doing nothing wrong. It's more than likely, like I said, is what you're actually putting on it, or maybe you're just either just putting the fire too high, or just maybe overcooking it. You know. So guys, I hope that you guys enjoy this recipe, and I hope that you guys let me know if you try it at home, if you liked it. Please leave me your comments and your ideas. I do read them. I do enjoy reading them. If you have any ideas that you think I should do for pork chops or something else, please feel free to let me know. And guys, make sure that you subscribe and you hit the notifications so that when I do put up a new video, you guys will get notified, and that way you won't miss the videos, okay? So I hope that you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it with you. And please let me know if you enjoyed it, if you tried it, what your family thought. And guys, I will see you again in the next video. Thank you, God bless, and thank you for tuning and cooking in with me. You have a good one. Bye.